which by my estimation is, well, we could have a lot of discussion. The majority of the group does not support that activity. So unless there's a compelling reason to argue in favor of that, you know, you can determine how to most effectively use your time.
Does anyone want to make a motion to do this? If not, let's move on.
No.
Okay.
I have a question though, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, my questions are about the numbers in the staff overview. Are we gonna go back to that, and I'm fine if it's
What
at the
staff,
end.
you mean this?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, let's, yes, what do you have questions about?
So I have a question mark, the office and building supplies clerical error for the police.
That's correct.
So has it been 13,000 every year?
Yes,
And it was just
yes, it was
a clerical, okay.
a conversion error.
And then the charges for services for schools, I saw the email go through, and we are charging them now. We sent a notice that we'll be charging them for,
We will be, yes,
I think we sent it and said, you're getting billed.
yeah.
Okay, and that's just, and the total for that service is, I thought it was 7.
This is, I believe, the fuel charge. There's a clerical error.
So the fuel, so the.
I believe, I would
I just thought.
have to double check my notes, but it was, Leanne, do you remember exactly what that clerical error was on my part?
I do not.
Okay. It was in the detail sheets and the numbers just didn't carry forward properly.
You just check that, so I know we're billing the full
Yeah.
7,000.
Well, that's also on the list that we're going through now on the screen.
Yeah, that's number
Yeah,
66.
this is something else.
Okay.
There's a field trip.
Okay,
I
and
believe
then
the fuel charges
last-
were improperly calculated.
last question was, where's my question mark? Transportation aids lower than proposed budget. You said there might be a reason? Oh, no, you told us that one, never mind. There's
Okay.
another question, but I'll come to it at some point.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we don't want to move the hydrant fees, let's move to create a refuse utility for cost recovery. I thought, okay, that's another one that, I mean, I just see it as transferring a cost, I don't see it as really reducing the cost to residents. Does anyone want to make a motion to do that?
No, I think that's, I agree.
Okay. Okay, now we're on to the A's. Let's hope these are easy.
Yeah, and again, A's are pretty much, there's either unanimous or near unanimous, and of course, I apologize, trustee Bachhorst, feedback was not included because it was, I had already compiled this list, but with the possible exception that one trustee may have put it as a 3, which is under the old rating system, would like more discussion, so that's just my
So these,
intro to the.
nobody put it at 4 or 5, right?
There's no 4s or 5s.
Okay.
By the way, did we note that trustee Bachhorst joined the meeting?
Yes, okay, great.
Okay, so the contingency in the proposed budget was 25,000, and we did discuss reducing that to 10.
And that was a contingency for, I'm sorry, can you
I
refresh?
think it was just a general
Mhm.
contingency.
It's a general contingency for things that are unforeseen
Oh, like a study?
with the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with 0. If you have to do a marketing study, take it out of the general fund reserve, which is a usable, an acceptable use.
That's true.
Well, that's really not budgeting.
Policy, right?
It is in our financial
It's
policies.
our contingency. I would go to 0.
Well, if,
Make a motion.
it's your,
All right, I'd like to make a motion to adopt, the funding of contingency at $0. Is that right?
You know, here's my concern, if we,
We need a second. before we
Yeah,
start.
there's a second first.
does anyone second? Okay, motion fails for lack of a second. Here's my concern about, like, if we add additional vacancy factor or something like that, then we should have some contingency, you know, so can we come to contingency later?
But it won't be in our it's a village board, so I don't know that you can fund it salary out of that contingency. That contingency's, what I understand, is just for marketing studies.
Well, I mean,
I thought it was just general
somebody could
contingency.
propose to do, some very new novel pilot project this year, and it would cost $8,000, and everybody loves the idea, but the budget's tight, so where does that come from? You know, my experience in the last few years is there seems to be a general trend that those items do occur. I prefer to budget for a certain amount of that. I put in 25,000. The group was talking 10,000 during, and now it's just really, how do you
So
feel
this
about it?
is, so this is not like a general budgetary contingency?
No, this is for village
set
board
aside
action.
for if the board wants to do an extra communication, for example, about some issue or something.
Whatever, if I knew what it was, I'd budget for it straight out.
Make the motion again, but I'll second the motion. I misunderstood what the nature of the contingency was.
Can I restate the motion? The
Yeah.
same?
Yeah,
it's new motion.
The new motion, yeah.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to, adopt the funding of contingency at a $0 amount.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. All right, motion fails. I
On the
see.
motion to approve.
I'll withdraw that. Jesus Christ.
I'll make the motion to.
She set me up.
Okay.
Do it again.
Try it
I'll
again.
make a motion to reduce the contingency from 25 to 10.
Second.
Any discussion on that motion? Sorry about that. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion passes 6-0.
70.
Okay, staff computers plus village board iPads.
If you'll recall, there was some discussion on why the budget for staff computers did not match the detail sheet, and when I look back to our notes, I saw that we had added about $5,000 to that to replace the now almost 5-year-old iPads at the village board. So that was the reason why the two didn't match. Certainly you can take that information and vote on this item.
So that, you've updated it so that the 15,000 doesn't include the iPads, but, so that 15,000 is for
For staff,
computers.
computer-related equipment, computers and printers, and the iPads would, for all village board, would be replaced to a newer edition.
So
With
when
the
we-
extra, at 20,000.
With the difference between the 15,000 for staff computers and printers and the 20,000 that was in the original budget.
So the.
I just didn't recall why it was different at the time, and I've reviewed that.
So cutting this by 5,000 cuts out the iPads.
That's pretty much the way it will work.
But it keeps the 4-year
Yeah, we talked
replacement,
about.
we talked about, because you think
Yeah.
it's gonna blow up?
We
I
talked
just
about-
remembered that.
We talked about, can we defer replacement of staff computers? Do
Correct.
we have a list of what exactly these computers are?
Yes.
Where is that?
It'll be in the appendix for IT equipment.
Oh my God, it's getting hot in here.
We can open the window, I don't know.
It's like page 188, maybe.
188. Thank you, trustee Maher.
Thank you. How you feeling? Better?
Yeah.
Good.
188.
So 188 and 189 in the 2019 column indicates the equipment currently being proposed to be replaced before it fails.
For
What's
the
up?
laptop for the assistant manager,
Oh, this is 19?
and police, 1, 2, 4 computers in the police department, no, 5, 6 computers in the police department.
And you notice some of those are fairly old.
Can I ask a question about the police ones? I was under, I just remember approving in our accounts, they just purchased a whole bunch of technology, new technology.
Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff.
That's a big comment. We've got a lot of
Well,
stuff.
I mean, we've got a list.
Cheap.
There's a list here.
Okay.
I don't wanna miss that.
So how many computers do they have? One for every officer?
So they've probably got more computers than
Anyone else?
any other department right now.
Aren't there half of them on the
Do
street?
they have computers in their, don't you have computers in the cars too?
That is a different item.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
is with the vehicle assets.
Oh, I know,
Yeah, I mean, they do.
Is the question from the board, can you live without computers? I don't know, where are we
but.
going with this?
Replacing these computers.
We recycle, I mean, do the old computers get
Destroyed.
destroyed? I would make a motion to revise the staff technology line from 20,000 to 15,000.
Second.
What did you make the motion for? I couldn't hear.
Not there. I-
25 to 15.
I just
20 to
think
15,000.
20 to 15, and seconded. Is it okay discussion?
We brought up during this process that we wanted to look at the small capital items and just see, and so I don't see anything coming back to us like, well, we could do without this, or, you know, like the effort made of, maybe we don't need 30 computers, or we could extend the life of them for a year. We didn't get any further information, but.
Well, that's
I
a
just
board
don't-
decision. If the board wants to advise staff to proceed on a different, certain set of assumptions, then staff will proceed on a different set of assumptions. There's no magic right answer to that.
Well, I just would have liked
But
to
if
know.
my computer fails and I'm out of business for a week because of it,
But
that's a
that,
pretty
everything's
expensive
backed up in the
downtime.
cloud, correct?
No,
Well, that's a problem.
no. A lot of applications reside on your computer. The servers are stored and backed up separately. But again, when your hard drive goes, then you've got to acquire a new computer, get it installed and configured, and queued backed up, and that can take,
Which would be a problem
1 or
if they
2
didn't
weeks.
have 12 other, or 14 other computers in the department. I'm assuming not everyone's at their desk at one time.
Okay, can I'll note that there's 4 of these computers in the police department are from 2013. 2 of them are older, and the laptop, Tyler's laptop is from 2014, and he has a desktop. So, anyway, I just make that point, and I'm not gonna support this motion, because I feel we can take another 7,500 out of this line item. That's my, does anyone else have, or do you just wanna vote?
I agree with you. I think we could even do less, but that would be fine with me until we have further discussions on small fleet vehicles and small capital.
Is there a time frame for replacement? Like, is there a?
our technical
plan?
support staff recommends every 5 years.
Mhm.
I guess I do worry that, computers get old quickly, and I do worry about technical issues, which can really, have quite an impact, across an enterprise.
But I mean, police officers are out, you know,
Road.
I mean, they're not like you and me sitting at a computer all day, you know?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I guess I feel more comfortable if I can hear the chief talk about wear and tear on
17 computers.
police computers versus.
Yeah.
Can you refresh my memory, Mark, which ones are listed on
It says deputy
Sure.
chief, and then workstation computer, detective 1, 2, and 3. Those are 2013. 11 was workstation computer officer, workstation front office corner, or those are 2011 and 2008.
And which
But
ones are they just behind?
there? So,
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah.
that's based on Chris's inventory that we did 2-3 months ago.
Can you talk a little bit too about the heaviness of the use of these computers, and is it something that the officers are constantly out, they're using it for 45 minutes a day, or is it?
yeah, so just real quick on that, Mark, we might have crossed a little bit of paths, because some of those, a couple of the ones that you read off were replaced in the
I was just
building
there, there's
remodel.
nothing in here
Yeah.
from 2019 or
Yeah.
18.
So, but what I'm saying is they were part of the building project.
Yeah.
So let me.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
so I think we can take, I don't know exactly, I'd relook at those again. And I can, Mark can probably give you a better figure for that.
Well, how many computers did you order outside of the program this year?
25 grand, I thought.
No, that's furniture. It was 7,500.
Well, how many computers was that?
There was 4.
All right, thank you.
So,
So that's $6,000.
So just what, so,
So now you're down to 11,000.
well, okay, we have a motion and a second. Okay, so let's deal with that motion first.
Or we could make it friendly.
I'm willing to amend down to, the reduction from 20 to, 9,000, because it'd be 4 computers at 50, it'd be 6,000 less, so 20,000 to 9,000.
and,
Okay, do you second that, Ann?
Sure.
Okay. If there's no discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
nay.
Okay. Okay. When we get through with the A's, we'll go to the bottom and see how close we are.
Sure.
Okay. Review funding of equipment kiosk, this is in village manager kiosk and miscellaneous. The kiosk, is that Sarah's kiosk?
It's a customer service area?
Yeah,
We
It would
talked-
be-
Okay.
yeah. The 108
We didn't ask, so this is other money included in that. Ours is like, wasn't even $1,500
Okay.
for the kiosk and we're talking about ours was $1,500.
Do we know what this is, Rebecca, the 10,000?
This was just from the station.
Well, again, we've identified the kiosk, and again, if I knew what miscellaneous equipment we're going to break, I would tell you specifically, but.
It'd just be nice to know for next time what that includes.
Oh, so this is
That's
kinda
fine.
like rainy day.
Well, I mean, you know, we've got hundreds of items around here.
Sure, sure.
And we don't budget for them to break, they just break and need to be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the place that I would budget for
And if it
the
breaks,
replacement of equipment.
right, but it might not get used, it could fall to the bottom line.
Isn't that maintenance?
uh, Depending on what it is. You know.
I mean, we did budget for, did we budget for the letter opener, right?
Yes.
Have we
Is that
always
in
budget
capital?
10,000
Not that I'm aware of.
for miscellaneous?
You know, I'd make a motion to reprogram that 10,000, or to remove that 10,000, but to keep the microphones and board chairs. Where are those? Those are in capital.
Those are in the capital section.
Well, I mean, I'm in favor of taking this out, but I definitely think we should think about microphones, because the videos, I've heard from many people that they're difficult to hear.
So on the microphones, our discussion last time, just a refresher, that I still feel supportive of, is it's human error, it's not equipment error. And so, you know, I personally would like to wait and replace the system. I think that in general, instead of going nickel and diming this camera, we had money budgeted for a system that was more than $450 for a camera. So I would like at one point, as we get more and more in, you know, as we progress with technology, that we budget for technology that would better sound quality. But I don't know that it's gonna fix human error by just.
But it's not really, it's human, I mean, I think you're talking about that we don't talk into the microphones, but, I mean, if you've ever watched one of those videos and there's somebody in the
understand.
back row, they're whispering and you hear their paper and you hear people
agree.
get up, and, so, I mean, we could be talking us into the microphone and it still would be,
Right.
it still would pick that up, so.
Right.
Could
So
we
it's-
take this item and then go to the board, that line item?
You're saying because it's.
Yeah,
No, I'm just saying, could we
proposing a
vote on
swap.
this?
I
Right,
know,
and
I've
just
been
leave the
proposing a
swap in it.
swap, but I mean, I know that that's, if we go by order, we can't really do that, but, okay, yeah,
So
what-
staff had heard discussion on reducing this to 0, which is why we,
Is there a motion?
again, just for hypothetically at 0, but I would need the board to make that formal.
What's the motion on?
Or somebody make, no one's made a motion.
So what don't you buy? If we put this at 0, the printers and all that is in the other.
Printers should be taken care of.
Okay.
You know, our
This
knowledge.
other
It's like a
equipment?
contingency.
Well, it's the customer service enhancements for the kiosk,
Oh, okay.
and then any other,
I would make
you
a
know,
motion
stuff
to
happens.
reduce the, this line item from 10,000 to 0.
Second.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
You can record me as an I and say anything.
Okay, consider service delivery and staffing options in the planning department. Can you clarify for me, is this number, the 56,350, including hiring a half-time inspector or doing that on contract by contract? Did we talk about both options?
This is the staff recommendation, to go from 5 FTE to 4 FTE in the department. This includes additional contracted time.
Is it include the 0.5? Just to clarify, I think what we had talked about before was it going down to 4 FTE, but then increasing the funds to contract out half a position, basically, for more services.
For
So-
specialized services, that's correct,
that
Barb?
Yes.
Correct, contracted.
Right?
Correct.
So it's 4
So this
FTEs
is
and
Any
then half.
incidental
This is the
impacts of that
number.
on the budget.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep, so it increases the contracted amount, reduces staff
Okay.
expenses.
So it's a-
And this is the net impact of all
And you're
that.
already working on that, correct? I mean, I remember you're gonna bring it to us November 5th, but you already have,
Correct, there's
Yeah.
a draft RFP and job descriptions prepared for whatever the action is that we're going to take. But yes,
Okay, because I would make a motion, to reduce this line item to 0.
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Is that just one opposed? Okay, 6-1, Maher voted no. All right. Next item, number 8, Public Works charging the school for, I assume that's refuse and recycling, right, Leanne? Correct. And Rebecca's already said we're sending you a bill.
yes.
And they didn't say anything, so I guess that means they're okay.
Well, they could choose a different provider, right? I mean, they do have that option. I remember us saying that.
That's true, I mean.
Have you heard anything back since that meeting?
Okay.
So Rebecca had mentioned that to them.
I'd make a motion to move the charges for services for the school solid waste from, charges to $8,425 in revenue. Is that
So
right?
increasing the revenue from